Hello. Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me. This is Courtney Kalbach. We're getting ready to start our second webinar. Let's see. This time, we're talking about connection and collaboration technology tools. We're going to start with Google Sites, and then, oh yay, someone said, can hear you. Then we'll go to Twitter and TweetDeck, Screencastify, which is a Google extension, and then we'll talk about the Schoology blog. We're hoping we'll end by 5 o'clock, if not earlier, and then you can collect one snow hour, or you can put in for a 1 hour EPR. No matter what you're doing, whether it's one snow hour or 1 hour of EPR, there'll be a form at the very end that you need to fill out and just distinguish what you're doing. And then there's just one question, and if you can just answer that and tell how you're going to use the things that were talked about in your classroom, and that's it. And then we'll do the attendance on DSC tomorrow, and you can collect your snow hour. If you're putting in 1 hour in reported time, you'll need to put it in reported time in DSC, and the funding source is professional development. Oh, hey, John.
Hey,
John's joining us from Linden Hill.
Let's start.
He's our expert on Twitter and TweetDeck. He uses Twitter a lot in his classroom, so he's going to share all his information and just tell people how they can use Twitter for beginners. Okay. All right. As some people are joining, I'm going to give some more housekeeping information. All right. So here is our Schoology group. This is the RC Instructional Technology group. If you're not joined in it already, I'm going to show the access code and you can join. As you can see, we post lots of updates here. Over here, we have some calendar events. And then right here in resources, all this year, we've had just about every single month, we've had an instructional technology tech night at Dickinson. And in here, for every single night, even if you weren't here or you weren't present, you can still go into the different folders and you can access the materials that were presented that night. So if you weren't able to make it, you can still come in and explore what was shown. And then you can email Karen, Beth, or myself and ask us questions. We can come out and help you. We can get you connected with the presenter if it wasn't one of us three that was the presenter. And we're happy to help you out with anything that's inside this group too. If you notice our picture here at the end of the month on April 25th, we have our big EdTech Innovator Conference, and that will be at Dickinson High School. It's from 4 to 7. We know that a lot of elementary teachers can't get there right at 4. So the first hour, the first 50 minutes are going to be registration, dinner. So we're hoping the elementary teachers can get there by like 4:15, 4:20. We'll have free dinner. And during that time, we also have a lot of teachers from all over the district who are going to do like a science fair expo, and they'll be showing different things that they're doing in their classrooms. We have a big corner that we're calling Coding Corner. So we'll have Spheros, Osmos, all different things that students can use for programming and coding that teachers can try out and play with. So that hour is a little more informal to hopefully get people there and arriving and signed in. Then after that, we'll have 2 rounds of 40-minute sessions, and we have lots of different sessions that you can go to. We're trying to have everybody, represented. So even teachers in grades K to 2, there'll be some stuff there for you that you can go to. And then after that, we have lots of big prizes at the end. We just got an iPad and a pencil. The pencil that goes with the iPad, that will be a prize. We have some gift cards. I'm just showing you our website. Here are all the people that donated. We have 2, I think, Kindle Fires. And then we're going to give away a smart cap board. So we have lots of different things. Here's the list of all of our different presenters from Red Clay. So lots of schools and teachers represented. Okay. So like I said, this is on Inside Red Clay. If you go to Working Here, then Instructional Technology, this is our site. This is all of our professional developments. Our webinars are on here, just general announcements. Here's the Dreambox Challenge. Face-to-face is where our conference is, right there. And Learning on Demand is where you would find, we have some different like online courses, like Karen's one-to-one course that you have to take to get your Chromebook. And then we have here our webinars. Okay, so that's our website. Here is, let me just present this nice and big. So like I said, there's our website right over here. There are the instructions, and here's our access code to join our Schoology course. So I'll take a second and you guys can look at that and run into Schoology and click join our course, or our group. I'm sorry, it's a group. We have a little over 200 people in our group, and we're hoping to pass the math group. They have 500 members, and we're hoping we get more than 500 members one day. Okay, and then underneath are our Twitter handles. So there's Karen, Jim, myself, and Beth. So after John shows you what to do with Twitter, then you can follow the four of us. Okay. So first, we were going to talk about Google Sites, and we had Chris Clark, a teacher from CAB, who was going to come on and show us how his students are using Google Sites. And this is the second time this happened, that we secured a presenter and then some accident happened and the presenter got injured. So Chris is injured and he had to have surgery. He's fine. He just fell in a bike accident and hurt his wrist. So he really wanted to be here. He was really excited. The good news is he's going to be at our conference. He'll probably be in a cast, I'm assuming, but he'll be healed, or at least kind of ready to go for our conference, and he'll be showing more about Google Sites. So if this is something that interests you, then please come to the conference and you can go to his 40-minute session. So since he's not here, I'm here and I'm going to show us about Google Sites. All right, so connecting this back to our topic for the month, connection and collaboration, Google Sites is a place where students and teachers can collaborate and work together on a site and share a final product. They could also share their site and evoke feedback from other people. We could ask, like, send it to people and ask for a call for action. Maybe people are signing something or taking a survey or whatever you want to do. It's a place where in G Suite for Education, you can create a free website. I'm going to come back to our website and just show you where I am. This is on Instructional Technology. Over here on the right are Quick Tips, and I'm right here in Quick Tips for Google. Okay, here's lots of information about Google. They're in ABC order, the best we could. So we're looking at this one that says Google Sites. And I have provided some information in here that you guys can look at later or share with other people. It's just some quick information about Google Sites. So the first thing that you need to know about Google Sites, and if you click on this purple box right here, this will take you to the new Google Sites and you can create your own site. Google Sites Google Sites has been around since we've had G Suite, and even when G Suite first started. And it used to have this blue icon. So I wanted to let you know that they still have this, but the one that we're going to talk about today is the new Google Sites, which is this purple icon. The purple icon, it makes it a lot easier to manipulate your information on the site. It's just way easier to use than the old Google Sites. So you can access Google Sites by clicking here. Really, I just Googled new Google Sites and it was the first link that came up. It's also conveniently in your Google Drive. So if you go to your Red Clay Google Drive and you click the new button, and you'll see this button down here that says more. Let me zoom in a little. There we go. And when it pops over to the right, you'll see Google Sites right here. So once you click that, it will take you to the new Google Sites. It kind of looks like Google Drive. I'll show you. And it's really easy to use. I also provided here, learn about the new Google Sites in the G Suite Learning Center. Google or G Suite has a fabulous help center. A lot of times on our website, Karen, Beth, and I try and create information just for our site to share with you guys. And then we thought, well, why are we wasting our time when places like Google and Schoology and like Pear Deck, a lot of these ed tech resources that we use or tools, they have fabulous help centers. So this is their help center. And I actually really went through this when I was making this presentation. You can go through and click what you need help with. They have diagrams, it's a great site. And you can also search for different things like Drive, documents, slides, whatever you're looking for. This help center, here we go, tips library, learn by product. It's super helpful. I can't say enough about how great that is. Okay. So I'm going to go to Drive. And click the new button, just like in the screenshot that I had. And here we go, Google Sites. And like I said, there's that purple icon. You definitely want to be working with the new Google Sites because it's so much easier to use. And really, in my opinion, I think the sites look a lot more streamlined. Okay, so here just opened an untitled site. I just created a new site. I'm going to click this site's home button just to show you how this looks. Like I said, it really looks similar to Google Drive. So here are some different sites that I've been working on. And just to add a new one, you just click there and create a new site. Okay. So the first thing you should probably do, like with anything, is title your site. So we'll call this Practice 2, since I had a Practice 1 in there. The title of your site shows up right here. You can also title this page. Let me just go across the top menu. So you have undo, redo. The preview button is a great button. I'll look at that at the end. And here's where you have that share button, just like with anything else Google, like documents, slides. You can share your site with other collaborators. This is not the way that you would share your published site. This is if you and a classmate or you and a co-teacher are working together on a site. So you just invite them with their Red Clay Google account, same like you would when you share anything else. Okay, so over here, you have some different places where you can add content. Usually the first place that I go, actually, let me show the snowman button first. You can collect some basic site analytics on your site once it's published, like how many people are visiting it. This, I actually had to look up what a favicon was. So I wanted to explain what this was. You can add an icon so that if someone favorited this site, it would have that little icon. So see up here, my favorites bar, how I have these little icons. That's what you're setting your favicon as. So if not, it would just be like the little sites icon, like this little purple icon or the little blue icon. But instead, you could make it something else like the G or Drive, or that's just like an orange circle. You can make it a little icon there. And then they also have this convenient button, take a tour. So if you come back and you want to make a site and you can't remember what to do, push that button and it will take you through some examples or, some things that help you along the way. So going back, the first thing that I would do is work on the theme. So they have lots of different set themes for you. Once you choose your theme, you can change the colors. So you can work off one of their themes. You can definitely make your own. Usually it's easier to start with what they have first. And then after that, you probably want to think of your workflow, like your pages. So you have your home page. You might have a page like how we have on our site. So you could have Google Tips. I could add a page for Schoology tips. So that's what they mean by pages. Okay, so then you can work off of each page. You can also reorder them. See how I nested this one underneath the Google Tips? So you would have to go to Google first, then you could get to Schoology tips. However you set up your site or your workflow, or I forget what they call that. Not breadcrumbs, but like your site map. Okay. And then this is where you would insert content. You have text boxes, images, you have that embed code there so that you can embed things from other sites like Padlet. You could embed a Google form if you want people to take a survey or a quiz on your site. Edpuzzle has embed codes. Upload is upload a file from your computer, like a PDF. Maybe there's a picture off your desktop or in your documents that you want to upload. Divider is like a page, like a line on the page. Okay, so see, it would divide content. Something from your Google Drive you could add. So here I had, oh, there it is. Oh, look, I just chose two things. So we had, this is a list. This is a cheat sheet for iCivics, or like a quick tips sheet. So see, I'm resizing it. I'm moving it elsewhere on the page, moving it in different sections. Okay. Images, same thing. You could get an image from your Drive, from your Google Photos. You could also search, which is good because inside of Google, if you're searching, these are already pictures that can be shared. If you're worried about copyright laws and rules and stuff like that, permissions. And then they have Google embeds like YouTube, Calendar, and Map. So those are things that Google already has that you can pop right into your site. I'll talk quickly before we get to John about publishing and previewing. So when your site's done, you can preview it of how it would look as a real site. Down here, this is how it would look on a computer. They have here a tablet and then a cell phone. So you can see how it looks on different devices. And also, which I think is really great because a lot of sites don't have this, is that if you have more than one page, you automatically get this magnifying glass so that someone could search on your website. That's really helpful. Okay, so then when you're done previewing and you're ready to publish, you click that publish button. It's almost like the send button in Google Forms. This is the link that you would give to other people, not to collaborate, just to look at. Right here, you can change the title. So I could change this title to like my class's name. You can change it to whatever you want. And then you want to change the permissions. So right now it's published to anyone in red clay. So you'd have to sign in with your Google account to view it. You could change it to anyone on the web could find it and view it. Let me just show you when I click here, anyone can find and view, save, and done. Right here, it says request public search engines not to display my site. So you could turn that on. And let's say you just want to share this with all families. So you could share it with all families. And now if someone's searching on Google for your site, they won't be able to find it. They'll keep it off the public search engines. And let's just go back, manage again. The other option is only specific people can view your published site. So when you choose that, then still only the people who you're sending the link to can view it. But again, it's kind of like YouTube. If you're sharing a private link, just because you shared the link doesn't mean that they can't resend the private link. So if I send the link to a friend, they can view it, but they could also turn around and send it to multiple people. Okay, so that's just like your quick Google Slides information. There's a million reasons you could use Google Slides, or sites. Especially I think publishing your work and all, or a project, but also sharing it with other people. All right, I also wanted to let you know too that we have like a probably 2 to 3 second delay. So as we're talking and you're asking questions, we are a little bit ahead of you, but if you asked a question, we'll definitely get to it and respond back to you. But now I wanted to send the conversation towards John Chansey from Linden Hill, if he's ready. Let me pop up his screen. Here we go. So here is his Twitter handle. So like I said, once you get on Twitter, you can follow him and everything that's going on in his class. He's a 4th grade teacher at Linden Hill. And I'm going to let him tell you more.
All right. Hello, everybody. Teachers on Twitter. Just a quick guide. I'm going to hopefully not zoom too fast. Try to get you a little bit familiar with what you can do, what's out there, and to get you a little bit set up so you can feel more brave and set up to go on Twitter. All right, what is Twitter? All right, well, if you look it up or ask someone, it's a way to share your thoughts online. People use it for all sorts of different reasons: videos, pictures, 140 characters or less, and there's so many different ways to share nowadays as well. It's just another social networking site. For me, I have only used it for professional reasons. So my answer goes a little bit deeper. It's a way for me to learn from others, share your journey, ask questions for many responses. So you send out a question. If you have people following you or you use a hashtag, which I'll talk about later, you can get 2 responses, 1 response, and sometimes 20 or 30. And then sometimes say, message me if you have more details, and you'll get a conversation going for a week. So it's really amazing. And there'll be people from all around the world trying to help you out because they're just right where you are and they want to help you out. That's called your personal learning network, or PLN. You might hear that a lot. Some people call it PLF, personal learning family. You get a little bit tighter, depends on who you're talking to. And there's people that you connect with that share the same ambitions that you do with teaching your profession. I've linked up with several people that aren't just teachers, they're professionals, but they have the same, they might have some expertise that might help me with something that I'm working on with my classes or school. So many different chances there. Why use Twitter? Some people are like, oh, I got Facebook, I have Instagram. They all kind of do the same thing. I like Twitter. I use Facebook for personal reasons, just for family and stuff. And then I use Twitter just for professional reasons, try to keep it separate. One thing, learning tool, free PD. I have learned a lot of things from PDs from the district and schools, but to go on and you search something or you follow somebody that's talking about something that you're interested in, you read a blog they have, and you'll find yourself being able to get a lot more information at the time that's convenient for you, and not exactly something that might, interest 100 people to have a PD on. So I found it very helpful. By reading tweets, blogs, and then going to my PLN. My PLN has become connections all around the world. I have teachers that I work with, talk to regularly, work with my classes and my students, working with their students around the country, Australia and Europe, and all other places. It's amazing. And you'll find that you think nobody else wants to do something that you want to do or doesn't have the same idea that you have, and you'll get out there, start reading and start connecting with people, and you'll find out they have the same crazy ideas or ambitions that you have, and all of a sudden you're on the same page and you're taken to the next level. It's quite amazing. So yeah, you can learn what they're doing. Don't be afraid to share what you're doing. There's always somebody out there that's willing to read what you share, even if it's just a little to get started. If you're a little nervous about starting up, just go for it. You'll never know. You never know who you can help, and then who you can connect with, and they might have an idea to help you take it to the next level. Or, oh, I've been doing that for 8 years, and you think, I remember there's a time that I thought I was, you know, innovative and starting something new, and all of a sudden I realized somebody was doing it for 10 years before that, and then I started picking their brain for all these ideas and totally stepped it up to the next level. So don't be scared to get started. Just get out there. Even just reading something, like something, if you are interested or you like or appreciate what somebody posted, follow them. Then you'll get a notification every time that they post something, or they'll be on your wall, that I'll talk about that as well. All right, how to use Twitter. Now I'm gonna get a little more detailed with this. It's very simple if you use Facebook or Instagram or anything, or if you have not. You read, you like something, give a heart, and basically move on. You can post your things as well, and I'll get to that in a second as well. Two main things you can do: Twitter chats, which is basically Twitter chats is basically using a hashtag, which you see right here. Hopefully you can see. And it's a way to connect all of your conversations to that topic. So usually your hashtag, if we're talking about technology and Red Clay, you might Red Clay technology with hashtag Red Clay tech, and then I'll post on a webinar talking about Twitter, and then everybody that wants to talk about that will put the same hashtag, comment on my post, or make their own. And then if you search with just that hashtag, you'll find all the posts, all the tweets related to that one hashtag. So it's really nice. So Twitter chats is something that people do to have conversations around the world on a specific thing. And I'll show you a few of my favorite Twitter chats out there. But basically just like this, if we want to do it on Twitter chat, we would have a hashtag, and then everyone would go ahead and there would be one person, a moderator, like Courtney is doing now, and she would post questions, and everyone would answer with specific, Q1 and her question, and then A1 for the answer, and then you would always hashtag, you put that specific hashtag, whatever it may be, onto at the end of your tweet, and then it'll carry through, and everybody can read all of your tweets. And I'll show you that. If you have no idea what Twitter is, that might be a little hard for you to see, I think about just yet. There's also live feeds. I think you can see my video. I'm going to show you on specific devices. So here's my Twitter. You can see it on my phone. If you click on there to add a tweet, you can take a picture. You can post pictures you already have, GIF, but then live feed, you can go straight to live feed, and then it'll ask you for a little bit of information. This connects to Periscope, which I use a lot as well, I'll talk about, and basically sets you up for live feed. It goes through Twitter and also Periscope. So people will be able to see it, then you click on it, and it'll forward them to the other app and allow them to watch it. I don't think I can do that on this computer. Other computers might be able to do that. Chromebooks, I don't think can. Periscope, and then how to follow. All right, Twitter hashtags, follow the Twitter hashtags, and then TweetDeck. I'm going to talk about that right now. All right, now I'm going to back up a little bit because this might give someone a headache that doesn't know much about Twitter. Here is my main page on Twitter. This is what I'll see when I log in and what's going on. All these right here are things that I've posted or people that I follow have posted. So and it says you retweeted, so I liked something and I retweeted it. advertisements about other things going on, events. You'll see everything in orange that says hashtag our global classroom, hashtag ed chat, just certain things going on. Something on LinkedIn that I forwarded and posted, tweeted to everyone, and so on. So everything that you like, everyone that you follow will be on here. Some great features, bio right off to the left, and then off to the right. I like this. It shows me my activity. I have not done much this weekend, which is good. It's one of my goals, not to be crazy Twitter fanatic on the weekends. But then, as you can see on Friday, I did quite a bit. And this shows like the impressions. I like thinking about data, and it kind of gives you an idea of what you're doing with your tweets, what's effective, what people like to see. And it's just kind of the most popular ones, the ones with the most views, impressions. Impressions mean that they looked at it, engagements they looked at and responded, and that sort of thing. So just to get a little deep, but not too much. Okay, so this is just one single feed, and I'm gonna go ahead and hashtag my school. Most of the schools, I think in Red Clay, have a specific hashtag. So Linden Hill Lions, and then the actual all right, and there's the hashtag. So hashtag Linden Hill Lions, and I'll have the people, the top rated posts or tweets. It's going a little slower. And I'll show you everything that that people are tweeting about with Linden Hill Lions or whatever your school hashtag is. And then we have a few for Red Clay as well. And then latest is where I usually go. That gives me, if there's a Twitter chat going on, this is where I would go, and I would see all the latest questions and the latest tweets, responses going on here, and you just go down and keep going. This allows you to a few things to look at. Let's see. So defending their claim using NGSS claim evidence reasoning. So if I like this, I would go ahead and just give a nice heart. If I want to message, direct message the person that tweeted this, I can do that there. Retweet is basically it'll go onto my page, and I can either give a message, add a message in here to add to what is posted, or I just go ahead and retweet anyways. Okay. If I want to reply directly to this post, this tweet, and it'll give a conversation attached to that, anyone that sees this tweet will be able to see my comment, my reply. If I do a private message, no one will see it except for that person that posted it. That's good to know if you don't want everyone to see what you're thinking, or you're embarrassed about a ridiculous question. You can always private message them. Some people might have that blocked to people that don't follow them, and if they don't follow. So you might always say, could you message me, or could I chat with you? I have some more questions about this. I like what you did, or something like that. Most people, if they post it, they want to talk about it. They want people to know what they're doing. They want to share what they're doing and learn more. And that's what I take from Twitter. It made me step up my game so much. And every day I read something like, oh man, I thought I had something good. And now I got to keep moving forward. So take this to the next level. You have TweetDeck. TweetDeck is a great way to manage a lot of stuff at once. Just for a second. So I have everything from, this is basically Twitter management. I have my home screen on the left here, all my notifications that are coming in here. So if someone likes something that I tweeted, oh, Courtney right there, and then so on, they liked it, they retweeted it, or they commented on something, it'll be there. And then I have my hashtags that I follow. What is school? Something I've been following from the first couple weeks of being on Twitter. Great innovative teachers from around the world teach in all parts of Asia and Europe, Australia, and the US, all around. DelaChat, that's Delaware. A lot of teachers from Red Clay, Christina School District participate in this chat. And also, we have the EdCamp Leader Delaware coming up for this summer, or there, June 26th. And then if we keep going to the right, teacher friends, another good one. A lot of teachers that just like to share and promote the best that they can do. Dojo chat, that has to do with Class Dojo. These are some of my favorites. They are really good at including teachers. If you use Class Dojo or not, you can still learn a lot by going to these Twitter chats. And then I got Linden Hill Lions, Flipgrid Fever. That's one of the shirts that I'm wearing here. This is hashtag Sing a Song. One of the ambassadors from Flipgrid started this hashtag. Flipgrid, if you don't know about it, it's a video response system. Not to go too much into it, but it's all about student voice. And one teacher, an ambassador of Flipgrid, went ahead and made a sing a song grid where they would have a theme and they would sing a song. And teachers all around the world started jumping onto it. Students, the whole classrooms, the whole staffs, and they've been doing it for 5 months, 6 months now. I think since summer, so almost a year maybe now. But they just want to promote student voice. They do it through Twitter and other sources, and it's a great thing. A lot of great teachers there. Passoscope EDU, that takes me to the live feed and Periscope. Passoscope EDU is a great group of teachers as well that actually have a live Periscope once a month. They have different themes. This one I tweeted about right there. Great person to follow is Margaret Atkinson. Brilliant teacher that knows a lot. Student voice, works a lot with Flipgrid as well, and just very passionate about getting the best for her students. And all these teachers are all different corners of the world, and it's amazing that Twitter can just kind of connect us all.
Cool. That's awesome, John.
Thank you.
I was going to say, what were some hashtags that you follow, or like what chats you recommend, but you kind of did that, like the Dojo chat. Della chat is one that Colonial started, and a lot of teachers in the whole state of Delaware participate in. Do you know when that chat normally is?
It's usually Thursdays, but it's kind of went on hiatus.
Yeah.
For a while, because it's a lot to do with Twitter chat. You have to set up questions and then program it. TweetDeck allows you to schedule it, but yeah, they haven't really had one for a while.
Yeah,
it's here and there.
And then they also have Schoology Chat, which I know is the first Tuesday of every month. But TweetDeck is a great way if you want to participate in those chats. You, like how John has there, you can put the hashtag at the top, like Dojo Chat, which I see is coming up on Wednesday, which is cool.
Yeah.
So as the tweets come in, every person puts Dojo Chat on their tweet, and then they're all collected in that line, that column, and then you could just follow along with them. Then over on the left where he has the tweet, what's happening, you could tweet at the same time and answer some of the questions or participate. But really the chats are awesome because at first you could just follow along, and then when you feel comfortable, you could participate, or for always, you could just follow along and get ideas from other people. Yeah. I didn't know anything about analytics in Twitter, so that was awesome to see.
Yeah, I like that. I like playing around with that.
Cool. So I wanted to shout out to John too, because he's also going to be at our conference on April 25th at Dickinson. And like he said, he mentioned Flipgrid. He's going to be talking about Flipgrid. So if you want to learn more about that, come to our conference and you can attend his session.
Yes.
So that's awesome. Thank you, John, for sharing. Next, we're going to go to Karen, and she's going to show us the Screencastify extension. Thank you again, John.
Thank you. See you guys.
See ya. Yep.
Come on. Okay, great. And just checking real quick, you can see my screen using Screencastify?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, great. So today I want to take a few brief minutes to share about Screencastify. And I'm going to try a slightly different approach to this. Rather than backing all the way up and starting with how to get Screencastify, I'm going to kind of jump in the middle first and back my way out. So really what I want to do is talk about using Screencastify. And specifically, we're going to talk very briefly about blended learning, and then also raising the SAMR level through Screencastify. So I want to begin with taking a look at that famous definition for blended learning. And if you come to any of our PDs, it's definitely a definition that we start with so that everybody's on the same page with what we're talking about when we mean blended learning, or when we say blended learning. I highlighted in yellow the portion of this definition that I really want to focus on, and that is the portion that says students learn at least in part through online delivery. So Screencastify is a great opportunity and a great way for teachers to build and curate that online content. It can be something as brief as a how-to video that they quickly create in under 2 minutes, or it could be more in-depth, like a high school lecture or background information on content that a student might preview the night before coming into a course and beginning the conversation on that background information. So as we move forward and jump into talking briefly about SAMR now, for those of you that are not familiar about SAMR, again, a quick overview. It's the way that we talk about levels of instructional technology use. So beginning with the most simplest form of substitution, where the computer or the technology is simply taking the place of a non-technology based activity. For example, instead of answering comprehension questions on a worksheet, the student is answering comprehension questions on a Google Doc. Same question, same answer. The mode that has changed is the typing versus the writing. As you move through those levels, augmentation enhances it a little bit further, where maybe in that Google Doc now they're going to use some of the features associated with the application, like spell check, which is not something that a worksheet would offer them. And then modification is going outside of the capability that you could do without technology. So that's where you're moving into perhaps collaborating with a peer on answering the questions. And then redefinition is reaching out and publishing work and sharing more globally outside of the classroom or outside of the school. So how does Screencastify factor into both of those different theories? So I want to take a look first at Screencastify as teachers would use it. So, and I have a couple of examples. Now, my examples, I have to admit to you, for the most part, are test tube examples, if you will. I've created them sitting here at my desk, so I don't have authentic student work to show you or teacher work to show you. But let's think about ways in the classroom that we could apply this. So one example would be that flipping the instruction or creating or giving directions or reviewing concepts. So one example I have is created on specifically Screencastify by Beth. And in Beth's Screencastify here, which I'm going to click on in a minute, she explains how you go about getting the app in the Chrome Web Store, and then the basic overview of how to use it. Interestingly, what she did when she created her screencast was she created the entire thing in a PowerPoint or on a Google slide, and then she screencasted the slide as she narrated over top of it. So it made for a very easy way for her to think through the process of the information she wanted to share, and everything was laid out, and there wasn't a whole lot of flying by the seat of her pants, so to speak. So if I go ahead and open that up now, you see we're on our website, So going back again to where Courtney was talking about, where we have all of our quick tips listed. And if I were to click play here, just very briefly, you will hear Beth. And I'm only going to do about 30 seconds of this.
Today I want to show you a quick video on adding Screencastify from Chrome Web Store and using it to create short videos. In the upper right corner of your Chrome browser, click on the three bars, select More Tools, and then click on Extensions.
Okay, so right there you can see in that very brief demonstration that it is in fact the Google slide, and she is narrating over top of it, and she's laid out her pictures and she's highlighted the words that she wants you to see. And I don't know whether she is talking off the top of her head or with a script, but either way, it's an easy, safe way to begin kind of putting yourself out there on video, because that can be a little daunting at first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I was having a problem getting a file to play, so I'm going to ask Courtney to jump back onto her computer so that she can show the concept review idea from hers. Now, this is a screencast that a teacher that is participating in our Pioneers program created for a homework assignment in that course with us. And Courtney, do I need to mute myself, or can I talk over your screen?
I'm not sure. We'll try. This is from Krista Schneckenberger at Cook. She teaches 4th grade.
So one of the important things I think we need to remember, which kind of links us to our vocabulary instruction, is that when you're looking at units of measurement, there are prefixes. And if you can remember the meaning of those prefixes, it will help you with conversions. So the prefix on a base can help us remember the value. So if you look at my little pink table here.
Okay, you done? Yeah, can you see the screen again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there are two kinds of ideas. The idea there with Krista's video would be, if you're thinking in terms of centers or students working independently, that video could be, not that you could hear it to see it, to experience it, but that video could work as a standalone tutorial, or perhaps she presented to her class the initial ideas and the concepts behind the mathematical skill. And then maybe she's pulling a small group to either advance or remediate other concepts or skills. And then students that are working at their desk have means for getting help. They can go back and watch the video again. Perhaps she created multiple levels of that same video. So depending upon the kind of learner and their use in Schoology, they could target the matching corresponding video with the student's readiness for the content. So definitely you can see there where that blended learning can really start to take on a life of its own, which kind of also hits on another point as far as keeping the videos simple and not getting too hung up on the fact that we're human and we are not NBC news broadcasters, that we, just like I'm doing today in this webinar, we stumble on our words, we pause, we think, we rephrase, and all of that is okay in a video. It doesn't have to be perfect because, again, we're all human, and certainly showing our students that it's okay to share ideas and to stop and to rethink and to rephrase is definitely just one more example of modeling. So turning the tables a little bit more, I'd like to talk about students using Screencastify, because I feel as though maybe this is kind of a new area. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities for students to use Screencastify to really demonstrate their learning, to move that level on the SAMR model, so that they are really in that area of modification and having fun while doing it. So here's a couple of different things. And as I mentioned, these are all created by me in my office. So you get to hear my voice. So the first one is dubbing a video. Years ago, when we first brought out what was then known as United Streaming, which is now morphed into Discovery Learning, we talked about how you could play a video and turn off the sound in the classroom and allow your students in the classroom to narrate the video, what's actually happening within the video, as a means of formative assessment on their comprehension or understanding of a content. But here, if I click on dubbing the video, it's kind of the same concept, except now we're going to record the student. Because this one was done in the office very quickly and I had some people in and out of my office today, I don't think this is the best representation, but imagine that this is what's happening here. This is a YouTube video that's playing in the background. And obviously, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, it's the life cycle of a butterfly. So there is narration to this video. You can kind of hear it in the background. But I am playing the YouTube video and I'm using Screencastify on top of the YouTube video. So I am screencasting the YouTube video with my voiceover, but you only hear it very briefly in the very beginning. Okay, so obviously there wasn't a whole lot of meaning in that little video clip, but you can kind of see how we're taking multiple levels of applications and programs and we're mushing them all together. In the Apple world, I think that's called app smashing, and that's kind of what we're doing here today. Okay, so dubbing a video. So then I tried my hand in an animation. So here is my animation. And in this, I'm talking about cause and effect. This is created with a Google slide.
We've been talking about cause and effect. We remember that cause is why something happens and the effect is what happened. Looking at this video, the cause is...
So what you saw there was my ball being hurled through space. We're going to ignore the physics that were impacting the ball in a rather odd way, which would cause the ball to not only move down, but also forward as well. But clearly it was an animation, and my voiceover was explaining that cause, and cause is what causes something to happen, and effect is what happens. And at the end of the video, it asks the student it stops right before the ball hits the lamp, and they are to then make their own copy of that slideshow and continue the animation showing the effect of the ball hitting the lamp. Okay, so that's animation. I'm a little leery to continue to play the last two videos, so I'll just describe what they are. Provide feedback. I took a Google document, a piece of writing from a real student, and then I put comments into it. So I read the writing and I made my comments, I made my highlights so that the child would be able to see the feedback. But then I took it one step further and I screencasted over top of that document so that I could talk to the student, obviously a one-sided conversation, but I could talk to the student about the comments that I made, so that they could have the benefit of seeing their writing, seeing the comments, and then hearing what is my thinking behind what I'm writing.
Hey, Catherine, I wanted to take this time to give you some feedback on a piece of writing for this scholarship that you've been working on. I want to begin at the top with your intro, where you really zero your audience into your specific career goals. I think that's nicely done so that you set the stage for the rest of your writing piece. Moving down your piece, you'll notice I added a comment as well regarding
the idea there obviously being the more feedback that we can give students to support their learning and their progress, the better that it is. In addition, it kind of was fun to talk about the writing because I wasn't so having to type over and over and over again. The same thing if I had a whole classroom of students. I was able to call out opportunities where spell check was great because the spelling of the word to, T-O-O, was correct, but what they really meant was T-O. So that it just would be a change of pace and definitely an opportunity for me to highlight more specifically the feedback. And then the last one here, practice fluency, is the concept of students reading. So I had on the screen a video book, and then I read from the video book and recorded myself reading the video book. Definitely doesn't show anything too exciting. However, for an elementary school teacher with students who are building fluency and practicing their reading, it's a great way for students to be able to see their own progress over time with reading text, the same text. And it gives the teacher an opportunity to have a recording of the students reading.
blended learning is on the rise in K-12 schools, and it is easy to see why. The model combines the best of face-to-face and digital instruction in ways that can personalize learning, make content more accessible, and shift the old school paradigm from students as receivers of information to students as creators of new content. So, in a nutshell, some implementation ideas for Screencastify that go beyond the idea of let me record myself telling the students something and let them sit and listen. It really pushes the envelope, and I'm going to go back to that SAMR. It pushes the envelope on the difference between passive use of technology and active, where passive requires little more than just viewing content, and active requires students to think critically, to create, to collaborate, and connect to the world outside. So lots of great opportunities for Screencastify. So if you're interested in trying any of them or thinking through some interesting ways to use it, definitely give Courtney or Beth or I a shout out.
So Karen, I'm just going to shout over to you.
Oh, I'm like, I just won't talk. You don't have to shout.
Someone asked, is Screencastify when you talk over slides?
That is
screencasting.
Oh, screencasting. So screencasting is more about the recording your screen. If you choose to use slides as an opportunity for creating content that you can tailor yourself, absolutely. In a way, even what we're doing here today is kind of screencasting, because Courtney and I are recording this and we will put it back up online, and people will be able to play this for quite some time. We haven't actually talked about how long we're going to save these webinars, but definitely for a good long time. So in a sense, this is even screencasting. We're choosing to use YouTube Live as our casting mechanism, but it's just the concept of recording the screen and making kind of a video of the screen. Google Slides is definitely a great opportunity to start there and kind of pull yourself together as far as knowing what you want to say and kind of giving yourself a nice breadcrumb path through your ideas and your concepts. It is amazing when you think you know what you want to say and you push record screen, how quickly your tongue becomes tied up in knots. Every thought you ever thought you knew about something flies right out of your ear, and you're thinking, what just happened when I pushed that button? And then it usually takes a couple of tries before you can kind of calm down and try again and get at least an articulate sentence out. At least that's been my experience. So, again, Slides is great, but it doesn't have to be. You can totally press record and go and record anything that you'd like. Great question.
And on slides, you could have your numbers or shapes or something set up, and then talk over slides and move your numbers or boxes or whatever onto the screen so that you could explain a math strategy, for example.
Exactly. That's a great idea. Yep.
So yes, anything that's on your screen is recording is a screencast. So just like Karen said, like how we are screencasting right now, we're showing, clicking, doing things on the screen and creating a video. There is also a screencasting website that I can think of right now that's called EduCreations, and it's just a blank whiteboard, and you get 5 colored pens, and students can record a screencast right there and write on the screen. I mean, they'll be writing with a trackpad, or if you have a separate mouse, so it's a little more difficult, but the task, the job is accomplished. I think that we're going to be respectful of everyone's time, since this was an hour planned for an hour webinar, and we'll save Schoology blogs for next time. And then we'll come up with 2 more topics. So please fill out the form. I posted the form in the comments on YouTube. I'll post them again. I just posted it. If you have an idea of what you want us to talk about at a future webinar, I think from now on, we're going to keep it with 3 topics. So we have Schoology blog, and then if you want a certain topic, post it in the form or type it in the form, and we'll look at those, and based on your feedback, we like to come up with our next webinar topics. So thank you everyone for attending. Remember, if you are putting in EPR, you have to put it in DSC in reported time also, and the funding source is professional development. And feel free to email Beth Schwartz, Karen Ammon, myself, Courtney Kalbach, or John Chansey if you have a question or want to connect with him on Twitter. And thank you, everyone, for attending.